Hi, this is Sri Lakshmi from Informatica Global Customer Support. In this video, we will see how we can configure an ASYNC MDN for an AS2 outbound in IICS. This is the agenda for the video. What is an AS2 outbound? What is an ASYNC MDN? Followed by a demo. What is an AS2 outbound? AS2 outbound refers to sending a file to partner's AS2 server. We use AS2 connection in IICS to do that. We can send a file through AS2 B2B gateway asset outbound flow or REST API AS2 send operation. What is an ASYNC MDN? The MDN serves as a way to verify the integrity and successful delivery of the message. MDN stands for Message Disposition Notification. There are two types of MDN, synchronous MDN and asynchronous MDN. In synchronous MDN, we receive a receipt as soon as we send a file. It happens in the same connection. Whereas in the case of asynchronous MDN, we send a file and we receive the receipt after some time. It happens through a different connection. Asynchronous MDN refers to a delayed acknowledgement. It is used in cases where the sender doesn't need or expect an immediate acknowledgement. The recipient sends a separate MDN later, decoupled from the original data transmission. Asynchronous MDN can be sent manually or automatically. This depends upon the setting on the server. To set up asynchronous MDN, we need to select the destination as URL in the AS2 connection in IICS. Please note that this is a workaround. There is no explicit option to select asynchronous MDN or synchronous MDN in an AS2 connection in IICS. There is a feature request open, which is CLDDI 26013. We will move on to a demo now. This is the AS2 connection in IICS. So in this AS2 connection, we need to give the details as in what is the URL of the partner's AS2 server, what is the from ID, the AS2 to ID, which is the partner's AS2 ID, the username and password at the partner server. And to send a file from IICS to partner, we encrypt it using partner's public key and we sign using our private key. So we need to provide the details such as trust store, key store, its password and the certificate alias. Coming to the receipt, this is where we set the settings for the MDN. So when we send a file to the AS2 server of the partner, we receive an MDN from the AS2 server, that is the partner's AS2 server, to confirm the receipt of the file. So they send, if we are demanding or if they are sending us an encrypted MDN receipt, they encrypt using our public key. So we need to give the alias, which is a private key alias, because we decrypt using our private key. And then you can choose to select signed, unsigned or unsigned receipt and then the destination. So we have various options here: job log, file, email, URL and discard. So here if you see, you will notice that there is no option for us to choose between synchronous MDN and asynchronous MDN. We have these different options at the destination. So if we choose URL, then it will become an asynchronous MDN request. The MDN is requested from the client, and as in IICS, we do not have an option to select between asynchronous MDN and asynchronous MDN. If we select URL, then it will act as an asynchronous MDN. If you select job log or file, it will act as a synchronous MDN. By synchronous MDN, what I mean is, when we send a file using the same connection, using the same TCP connection which is opened with the partner, the MDN will be sent back to us. In the case of asynchronous MDN, we open a connection to send a file to the server, and then in order to send a receipt back to us, the AS2 server will have to open a connection with us and then send a file. So I'm selecting URL here, and then the other options can be selected, rename. And this is another important part, the receipt URL. This is the receipt URL. It has to have /AS2/MDN. So this is where we receive the MDN. /AS2/receive is where we receive the files. So for MDN, we need to give /AS2/MDN. Okay, I am saving the connection and I'll test the connection once. Okay, the connection is successful. Test connection is successful. Now we will move on to sending a file using B2B gateway outbound. So this is my partner and I'll go to the outbound. In the outbound, my connection type is AS2. I am sending a file using AS2 and the connection name is AS2 MFT Sri1. So this is the same connection, and let me send a file using outbound flow. Okay, the job has started. So once the job finishes, it will create an outbound event here, another outbound event here. Once the event is created, we will go to the we will go to the AS2 server and see if we have received the file and how we can send an MDN from there. So it has created an outbound event, but the event is not complete. We will wait till the event is complete. The job has completed here. Now let's see the B2B gateway and see if the event is complete. Okay, the event is complete now. So we have sent a file to an AS2 server. The AS2 server to where I have sent the file is our Informatica managed file transfer. This is on-prem Informatica managed file transfer. So let's see if we have received a file. Okay, so we have received a file. So this is the user which we specified in the AS2 connection. So the user logged in and we have received a message, which is basically a file that we received. And see, this icon here shows send MDN. We wouldn't have got this option if it was a synchronous MDN, because in case of synchronous MDN, it would have automatically sent the MDN back to the client. Now, if we see an send MDN option here where we need to manually send an MDN, this shows that this is an asynchronous MDN. So I am sending a receipt to this URL. So this URL is nothing but the MDN receive URL of the IICS. Okay. Now I have sent MDN from the server. Now let's go and see in IICS how we can confirm that we received an AS2 MDN receipt. So this one, these two, the first two rows shows the MDN, this transaction. So AS2 MFT31 AS2 send. This is us sending a file. So if we open this, we will see we have sent a file using B2B gateway, I said, and then this is the MDN that we received. We can view MDN from here. This is here the subject says message disposition notification. We have received it from Shrivan MFT, and this is the secure agent from where we have sent the file, where our AS2 connection is present. We have received MDN at this URL. There are other details as well. So this is how we can configure our AS2 outbound to request for an asynchronous MDN. Please let us know if you have any feedbacks on this video. Thank you for watching this video.